Did you know that 89% of people who suffer a heart attack alone don't survive? Today you'll learn what could save your life in just 10 seconds. It might sound dramatic, like a scene from a movie, but it's not. This is the silent reality for millions of older adults in the United States who live alone, facing the quiet fear of a heart attack with no one nearby to help. The real danger isn't just the heart attack itself. It's not knowing what to do when it happens. I've been a cardiologist for 45 years, treating over 65,000 patients in hospitals and clinics in places like Atlanta and Chicago. Today, I'm not speaking to you from a lecture hall, but as if you're sitting across from me in my office. This message could change everything. What you're about to hear could mean the difference between life and death. A heart attack can strike while you're watching TV, reading the paper, or making your morning coffee. It might start with a mild discomfort, a slight pain, many mistake for indigestion. That confusion, that lack of knowledge, is what can be fatal. I've seen it more times than I'd like to recall, but I've also seen the other side. Patients who survived against all odds. Take John Miller, a 78-year-old from Denver. When he had a heart attack in the early morning, he was alone. But he remembered the steps I taught him months earlier and acted calmly and precisely. Because of that, he's alive today, walking each morning with his grandkids. In this video, I'll share the exact 8 steps John used to survive a heart attack alone. I'll also teach you the 5 warning signs your body gives you before it's too late, and the 3 golden habits that can help prevent a heart attack, even if you have risk factors. No matter your age or medical history, being prepared can save your life. John Miller never imagined he'd need to save his own life in the middle of the night. At 78, he lived alone in a modest apartment in downtown Denver, Colorado. He'd been widowed for 5 years and had learned to manage on his own. Grocery shopping, cooking, tending to his plants, and going to bed early as he'd always done. But that night was different. At 3:18 a.m., he woke up with an odd feeling in his chest. It wasn't sharp pain, but felt like a heavy brick pressing on his heart, an uncomfortable, persistent pressure. He sat up in bed, waited a few minutes, wondering if he'd eaten too late, but the feeling didn't go away. Instead, it grew worse. 10 minutes later, he felt a tingling in his left arm, followed by a slight ache in his jaw. That's when he knew, this is a heart attack. Here's what mattered most. John didn't panic. He clearly recalled what he'd learned at a community center talk I gave for seniors months earlier. He remembered to stop everything, sit down with his back supported, and act. He carefully walked to the kitchen, opened the drawer where he kept his medications, and took a 100-milligram aspirin. He chewed it slowly, just as he'd been taught. After taking the aspirin, John picked up his phone, dialed 911, and gave his address, clearly and calmly. 113 Main Street, Apartment 2B, Denver. I have chest pain. It might be a heart attack. I'm alone. Before hanging up, he unlocked his front door and placed the key on the hall table. He sat on the couch, leaning back, took deep breaths, and sent a short text to his children. In that moment, he didn't know if he'd survive, but he knew one thing. He'd done everything possible to stay alive until help arrived. 14 minutes later, paramedics found him conscious, calm, and in the right position. They rushed him to the hospital, where he was stabilized in the emergency room. The heart attack was real, but the damage to his heart was minimal. The doctors said his preparation and quick action made all the difference. When I visited him days later in the hospital, he took my hand, tears in his eyes, and said, "Doctor, if I hadn't remembered what you taught us, I'd be gone today." Those words stay with me, reminding me of something vital. It's not luck that saves lives, it's knowledge. Millions of older adults in the US live alone, like John. Many don't know what to do in a cardiac emergency. They mistake symptoms for indigestion or tiredness, losing precious minutes that can mean the difference between life and death. That's why John's story isn't just a tale of hope, but a wake-up call for us all. A heart attack doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. And if you don't know how to listen, it can be too late. What you'll learn next are the life-saving steps that helped John based on over 4 decades of my experience, not theories. When your heart sounds the alarm, you need to be ready to respond. We often picture a heart attack like in the movies, someone clutching their chest, crying out, and collapsing. But real heart attacks are different. They're often quiet, with subtle signs easily mistaken for other health issues. The confusion can put your life at risk. The morning John Miller had his heart attack, nothing seemed unusual. He woke up at 5 a.m., made his coffee as usual, and sat down to read the paper. But soon, he felt a strange pressure in his chest. It wasn't sharp pain, but a heavy, dense feeling, like something was pressing down on the center of his body. He wondered if he'd slept poorly or had indigestion, but the discomfort didn't fade. It grew worse with each passing minute. After nearly half an hour, he felt a numbness in his left arm, followed by a slight ache in his jaw. That's when he remembered what I'd explained months earlier at a community center talk. When your heart signals, you must listen because it whispers, not shouts. That whisper can be deadly if not recognized in time. In my years as a cardiologist, I've seen how the heart warns. Sometimes it's a persistent chest pressure that doesn't ease with position changes or medication. Other times, the discomfort starts in the chest and spreads to the left arm, both arms, upper back, neck, or even the jaw. I've had patients who thought they had a toothache only to end up in the ER with a confirmed heart attack. Some arrive at the hospital saying they're just exhausted for no reason. This unexplained fatigue, especially at rest, can signal that the heart isn't getting enough oxygen. This is particularly common in women and often dismissed as stress. Then there's the sudden shortness of breath, like your chest is closing up. One moment you're fine, the next you're struggling to breathe, as if there's not enough air. Add to that a cold sweat drenching your forehead, even in a cool room. It's not anxiety, it's your body signaling something's wrong. In some cases, the signs come from the stomach, nausea, vomiting, or sudden dizziness that makes you feel like you might faint. Many people think they ate something bad, take an antacid, lie down, and wait for it to pass. But what they're experiencing isn't indigestion, it's the start of a heart attack. The most important thing to remember is this: you don't need to feel all these symptoms at once, just 2 or 3 are enough to treat it as a heart attack. If you have a history of high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, or years of smoking, even one of these signs should set off every alarm. John Miller recognized 3, and that was enough to save his life. Don't ignore what your body is telling you. It's better to act and be wrong than to wait and lose your chance. When your heart signals, it's counting on you to listen in time. John Miller didn't survive by luck, chance, or a miracle. What kept him alive that early morning was something far more powerful: preparation. When he felt the first signs of a heart attack, he didn't improvise or panic. He acted with clarity and precision, and that made all the difference. Some believe surviving a heart attack requires being near a hospital or having someone nearby. That helps, of course, but what matters most, I've seen it time and again, is knowing what to do in those first critical minutes. Those minutes can shape the rest of your life. Today, I'll share the same steps I taught John Miller, Mary Thompson, Robert Davis, and many other patients who stayed alive even when completely alone. The first step may sound simple, but it's vital. Stop and sit in a safe place. Don't keep walking. Don't tell yourself it'll pass. Instead, find a chair or sofa with a backrest. Sit down and stay there. Sitting upright prevents falls, keeps your circulation stable, and reduces the risk of fainting or injury. John was about to go for a walk when he felt chest pressure. Instead of continuing, he sat in his hallway. That simple act prevented a tragedy. Next, if you have aspirin at home, take it. Don't swallow it whole, chew it. A 100 mega tablet, chewed well, absorbs faster and can help dissolve clots blocking your arteries, potentially reducing heart damage by up to 40%. Mary Thompson from Charlotte did exactly this. Alone at home, she felt chest tightness, remembered her community health talk, chewed an aspirin, and called 911. Doctors later said her heart sustained minimal damage because of her quick action. After taking the aspirin, call 911 immediately. Here's something few know. Start by giving your full name and exact address. Don't begin with symptoms or ramble. If you pass out before the call ends, paramedics need to know where to find you. Say something like, "My name is Susan Carter. I'm at 456 Oak Street, apartment 13, Phoenix. I have chest pain. It might be a heart attack. I'm alone." Then answer the operator's questions calmly. Don't downplay or exaggerate. Be clear and direct. Next, A step many forget: unlock your front door and make the key or code visible. If paramedics arrive and the door is locked, they'll lose precious minutes trying to get in. If you have an electronic lock, write the code on paper and tape it to the door. If you use a key, place it somewhere obvious, on a table, under a mat, or near the door. In that moment, your life is worth more than anything in your home. Then lie back, but not flat. Ideally, position yourself at a 45-degree angle with your back supported, and if possible, elevate your legs slightly with a pillow. This helps blood flow to your brain and heart without straining your lungs. Lying flat can make breathing harder, while sitting too upright forces your heart to work more. Robert Davis from Tucson remembers this step kept him conscious until the ambulance arrived. Don't try calling family members by phone. Instead, send a short text message. Speaking in this state can drain your energy and worsen your condition. Write something like, "I'm having heart attack symptoms. I called 911, heading to the hospital." Send it to multiple family members or friends to ensure someone sees it quickly. While waiting, focus on your breathing. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. This controlled breathing reduces your heart's effort, improves oxygen flow, and helps you stay calm. Do it mindfully, without rushing. It's a powerful tool that can buy you vital time. Finally, if you feel like you're about to faint, press the inside of your wrist with your thumb and cough hard 3 times. While this doesn't replace medical care, it can help maintain blood flow and stimulate your heart for a few extra minutes. I learned this from a colleague in the ER and have taught it to hundreds of patients since. Richard Brown from Houston recalls practicing this during a visit 2 years ago. When he had a cardiac crisis, he followed these exact steps, and doctors confirmed it helped keep his condition more stable. These 8 steps don't require technology or medical expertise, just memory, decision, and practice. Write them down. Post them on your fridge or nightstand, somewhere you see daily. Rehearse them. If that moment ever comes, and I hope it never does, you won't need to think, just act. Surviving a heart attack alone is possible, as you've seen, but even more powerful is preventing a heart attack in the first place. Believe it or not, most heart attacks can be prevented. No magic, expensive surgeries, or complex medications are needed. In my career, I've met hundreds of people over 80 who've never had a heart attack. What's their secret? 3 simple yet powerful habits that can cut your heart risk by over 70%. The first golden habit is walking. Not running, jogging, or intense exercise, just walking. 30 minutes a day, every day. It can be in a park, your neighborhood, a mall, or even at home if the weather's bad. Speed doesn't matter. Consistency does. Robert Davis from Tucson once told me, "Doctor, I don't walk because I feel bad. I walk because I want to feel good." He's right. For over 25 years, he's risen at 6 a.m. to walk the same loop in his local park. At his last checkup, his heart was functioning like that of a man 20 years younger, and he takes no medications. The secret is as simple as putting on your shoes and walking. The second golden habit is cutting back on salt as much as possible. This can be tough at first, but it's one of the most effective changes. Too much salt raises blood pressure, hardens arteries, and promotes blood clots. The problem isn't just the salt you sprinkle on your food. It's hidden in processed foods like deli meats, instant soups, store-bought bread, and canned goods. The more natural your diet, the better for your heart. Mary Thompson, a 79-year-old from Phoenix, admitted it was hard at first. The food tasted bland, she said. But after a month, something surprising happened. Her taste buds adjusted. "Now salty food feels heavy and makes me thirsty," she told me. Since changing her diet, her blood pressure has stabilized, and she no longer suffers from headaches or swollen legs. The third golden habit is quitting smoking and alcohol. Many say, "Doctor, I'm 70. Why stop now?" I always reply, because it's never too late to live better. Your body doesn't care about the calendar. Every day you don't smoke, your heart breathes easier. Every week without alcohol, your blood pressure balances. Richard Brown from Houston smoked for over 50 years. At 70, after a visit with me, he decided to quit, thinking the damage was already done. But in 6 months, his body surprised him. He breathed better, slept better, and no longer tired climbing stairs. Now, at 74, he says he's never felt this good, and his grandkids admire his choice. Beyond these habits, never stop your medications on your own. If you take pills for blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes, don't skip them just because you feel fine. That means they're working. If you think you don't need them, talk to your doctor, but never decide alone. Also, get a heart checkup at least once a year. An EKG, blood test, and heart ultrasound can catch issues before it's too late. A small effort for many more years of life. It's not about perfection, it's about starting one step at a time. A walk, a less salty meal, a day without smoking. That's prevention. That's self-care. Take a deep breath and reflect. What you've learned today can change your future. This isn't exaggeration or drama, it's reality. A heart attack doesn't wait or announce itself clearly. When it comes, indecision can be costly. Let's review the essentials. If you're alone and feel chest pressure, pain spreading to your arm or jaw, sudden fatigue, trouble breathing, or nausea without cause, act immediately. Don't wait or say it'll pass. Your heart is asking for help. Remember the 8 steps. Sit safely, chew an aspirin, call 911 with your full address, unlock your door and leave the key visible, lie back at a 45-degree angle, text family, breathe deeply and slowly, and if needed, press your wrist and cough 3 times. These aren't magic, they're real steps proven by patients like John Miller, Mary Thompson, and Robert Davis, who survived not by luck but by preparation. Preventing a heart attack is even better than reacting. Walking daily, cutting salt, and quitting smoking and alcohol are small choices that can add years of healthy life. Your heart doesn't ask for impossible sacrifices, just consistency. I ask one more thing. Write down these steps on a large sheet of paper. Post it on your fridge, bedside, or bathroom mirror. Read it daily and practice. It's not overkill, it's prevention and self-love. Then write this: I'm prepared. If a heart attack comes, I won't give up. I know what to do, and I'll survive. Make that your daily promise, your commitment to yourself. You deserve many more years of health, joy, and peace.